Good evening, beautiful people. This is Akunna, and I'm reporting live from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we will be popping out this Saturday, August 30th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Cheyenne Park for the Park Pop Out. Now, if you have not seen these conversations I've been having these past few days, definitely go back, go catch up, because I've been speaking with amazing people who are about to make this event pop. And today is no different. Soon we are going to be welcoming on With Love Sage, who is a spoken word poet, teacher, wonderful individual all around. And we're going to be speaking to them about their journey, how they got into poetry and such. They will be gracing the stage, opening up with a beautiful poetry performance. So please join me in welcoming Sage to the stage. Ooh, that's a bar. All right. Peace.
Mhm. What's up? What's up?
How's it going?
It's going well. How's it going for you?
I don't know what made me think that like moving and settling and finishing the end of this planning was a good idea, but we're getting through it. So,
Well, shout out to you for putting in the work and like really highlighting all of us.
yes. And this is like, I'm going to love the event, of course, but as far as promotion and leading up, this is my favorite part because it's so important to get to know people, to know their passion, their purpose, what's behind their vision. I always think it's really important. So I'm super excited to speak to you today.
I'm happy to be here. So happy.
Yes. Awesome. So first, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, where do I start? Like, what do y'all want to know? Like,
Tell us about the day you were born. No, I'm just
all
kidding.
right. So the day I was born, it was the best day of the whole wide world. No, but a little bit about me. A lot of what I write and create, visually, like I also dabble in painting. A lot of what I create and put forth into this world as my offering, um, really stems from my interest and background in African American studies. So I
Mm,
always put some form of history into what I do. I love. When I was younger, I was always up under anybody that would let me be under them. Like I am a huge cuddler, hugger. Like I think touch is a form of vulnerability, especially in this day and age after
mm.
COVID. So like just really opening myself up to like that type of physical love to people. It's something it's something that brings me so much joy. But yeah, I've been writing since I can remember when I look back on it. But I really started writing for the public and like performing, speaking, sharing my writings back in 2018 is when I
Mm.
first started doing like open mics and stuff and haven't stopped since.
Nice. Now, take us back to 2018. What was the pivotal moment that made you realize, like, okay, I have to share this. I can't keep this all to myself?
The pivotal moment was me teaching early childhood education. So I
Mm,
used to be a pre-K and kindergarten teacher. And being in a classroom as a young adult, you have to grow up fast because you have all these different young people, personalities who have whole worlds that they're coming into your classroom with that may trigger your own like things from your world that you may have forgotten about or tried to put behind you. So I really wanted to be that person. I wanted to grow into the person who these children needed.
mm,
And I knew in order to do that, I had to do what we said every day. I am brave. I am strong.
mm,
And so I had to practice that. So when I showed up in the classroom, they had an example.
mm.
That was really the pivotal anchor in everything is children and my experience teaching.
Yes, yes, that's so beautiful. And what comes to mind is that quote, be the person that you needed when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And something that stood out to me was the fact that you repeated affirmations, pouring into the children with these words of affirmation. Um, and I feel like your name or your stage name, With Love Sage. First, when I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's like a sign, like signing off of a letter. But it's also an affirmation that everything that you do comes with love. So that's such a beautiful thing. Can you tell me more about what made you decide to use that as your stage name?
So I will. So my old stage name that a lot of people from like those beginning days knew me as like King Lex. So
Mm,
Sage, the name Sage came about after I went through a journey through a journal that I created, which will be available soon. But it's a healing journal that I created, and I went through it. I needed to go through it, you know. And by the end of it, I purged so much.
mm,
And the person that came out on the other side, literally when I was writing on one of my Freedom Fridays, it was like, call me Sage. Like, that's
mm,
my name. Call me Sage. Nothing else. So
mm,
I was like, all right, you told me I'm a rock with it. We are Sage now.
mm,
And then with Love Sage, it's just with love, you know? Like, I want everything to be with love, even when I'm naming things that may not be positive. I'm
mm.
still naming it with love. Like,
Yes.
because we have to name things in order to know how to address it.
Yes. Definitely. I got chills when you said that that you heard that like we are sage, call me sage because there have been many times where and I'm sure I'm not the only one where we hear the voice but we ignore it for
Mhm.
whatever reason, whether that be fear, whether that be pressure or perceptions from the outside and things of that nature. But when we really heed the call, that's when the real magic happens, you know? Growth happens outside of the comfort zone and you were able to go through that journal and let so much out, including the past version of yourself, to the point where it's like we're not even that person anymore. So that's such a beautiful thing. And when we even speak about the park pop out and just transformation, you know, the theme that we have is planet and purpose rooted in community and just that transformation that you have to go through to find the right soil. So, can you tell me some other things that you purged or things that you had to release when you were stepping into this new version of yourself?
Absolutely. So, a lot of, how could, so I am a black, queer, non-binary, lesbian, all the
All the
things,
things.
all the things. So like my experience, I always say it was complex. It was
Mm,
complex because I I was conditioned and treated like a boy in many ways.
mm,
So I have a lot of conditioning that young boys receive. But at the same time, I have a lot of experiences that a vast majority of women experience.
mm,
So it's like that dichotomy of the two experiences have always been at war with each other inside of
mm.
me. It's like
I see.
on the one hand, I've witnessed, I've internalized that women, girls are disposable,
Mm,
that femininity is weak, that you can't cry. Like I
mm,
remember one time, like I literally hurt, like I fractured my ankle. We didn't know at the time. I was early elementary, fracture, hairline fracture, but I was like 8.
yeah.
And the boys I was with, one being my older brother, was like, nah, we gotta lace that up and keep going. So I'm like, all right, we lacing this up and we keep going. He put me on the car and told me to sit back. And but initially, that initial was like, you gotta push through that pain.
Mm,
And being an athlete, same thing. But I just have to purge like all that negative stuff, like the false, the untruths, and really allow my body to remember what
mm,
it felt like to move in spirit.
mm,
And so it was a lot of like childhood things that I like didn't address, but were very prevalent and came up when I was teaching in the classroom.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing. Last night I spoke with Sunshine of Sunshine Henna.
Mhm.
Shout out to Sunshine. And
Yes.
we had we talked about something similar. You know, she's in education as well. And we talked about transformation and letting go of certain things to become a new version of yourself. And also reclaiming. That has been a central theme, reclaiming things that were ours in the past, whether we forgot or they were forcefully taken away from us, but just knowing that we can step into our power in this day and age and take those things back. Knowing that whether our parents knew better or not, they did the best that they could. But now that we know better, we have to do better and we have to pour into our future generation. So we're super excited to be popping out at the park on Saturday and super excited for your performance. Can you tell us a little bit? Obviously, not the whole thing. You don't have to give it away, but tell us a little bit about what to expect about your performance.
Absolutely. Honestly, Akuna, it's a lot of what you've been speaking just now, like reclaiming our power.
Mm,
I will say that the poem that I'm performing is rooted. It's not grounded. It's one of the main topics
mm,
is around fear
mm,
because I'm a transparent person. Like I was blocked. Okay, I was having a hard time writing for the park pop out. I was like
mm,
just blocked because I had so much fear in me. Like
mm,
I've consumed so much, I've witnessed so much. Like it was just weighing on me, and I was like not knowing how to move because
mm.
I was stifled by fear.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had to work through that. So a lot of it is about naming what was the reason for my fear,
Mm,
and then ways that we as a community can combat it.
mm.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm biased, but it's a good one. Okay, it's a good one.
Nice. No, I look forward to hearing it, especially because a lot of us are blocked in a lot of different ways. And doing things like naming the fear, doing things like journaling and purging and realizing what ideals are not our own, which may have been put upon us by society or others, you know, is very important. I feel like that is what helps us unlock the doors and like with naming it and taking the action on it, that's us stepping through the door. So you got through that writer's block, you unlocked the door, and now that you're speaking it out for others to receive, that's going to be you walking right through the door. And I can definitely relate because I haven't spoken, I haven't had a live speaking engagement in a while. Actually, this whole year I haven't. And when I was before, it was when I was working for a nonprofit. So I always felt like I had a mask on when I was doing that. But now this is me speaking as me, authentically me, speaking on something that I'm very passionate about, speaking on my journey. So I'll be right there walking through doors with you.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to
Yes.
your freedom.
Yes.
Welcome to yourself. And that's what I feel the vibe of the park pop out is. It's like welcoming people into themselves in a
Yes.
space that is meant to be comfortable. Um,
Right.
so
Right.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yes, definitely. Now, another thing I want to talk about is just community in general. Another thing
Mhm.
that stood out to me that you spoke on earlier was physical touch. And, you know, even back in the day, you know, people gave hugs, people dapped each other up, people were communicating in that way. But now it's so much with this technology that's supposed to have us more connected. While it's beautiful, we get to do this. We're across the city from each other, but we're still able to communicate and broadcast to whoever is watching. So shout out to those in the audience, whether you're watching live or catching the replay. We appreciate you for being here. But it also has kind of helped to create some of those blocks and to make us have this false sense of connection that is not real. And when you spoke on the physical touch, I was just like, man, that was me. When I was younger, before we went to bed, I would go around the house and everybody had to give me a hug. And my sister, I'm talking to you, Ketchy. She used to not really, and some people have different reasons for it, but she used to not really want to give me a hug, and I would just cry, and she would get in trouble and all that. But my parents, they grew up in Nigeria, and hugging like that wasn't really a thing. That's not how you show affection. That's not how you show love. For my parents, the fact that they had food and a roof over their head and they were going to a good school and had clothes, that was love right there.
Positions.
Exactly. So them coming here and learning how to raise children in this society that's completely different than what they were raised in was a whole thing. And I think that's something we not even think. I know that is something that we have to keep in mind when we are speaking on community, when we are holding spaces for community. We don't know what type of trauma somebody is going through.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what type of home somebody came from or what they've been through. So we always have to keep an open mind. I find myself sometimes I'm like, that person's weird. Why are they? But I always have to bring myself back to to like you don't know what they're going through. So can you tell me about a time when you were in community and maybe you had to switch a perspective on maybe what you thought somebody might have been going through, or maybe they had a funky attitude and you're like, what's going on? And then in hindsight, you realize that they were going through something.
Whew.
Or maybe you were that person.
I'm always that person. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. That's hard for me to like. Nah, I mask well, unfortunately. But I am getting past that.
Mm.
Um, ooh, that's a question that's making me think, but I like it. I don't know. I feel like I, I honestly feel like excuse me, I feel people.
Mm,
And like I try to not take people's reactions or like what they say personally.
mm.
I learned that in the classroom because
Yeah.
though the babies they gonna come at you if they
Yeah.
feeling away. You
And
can't
they
take
don't
it
even know why they're
personal. Like
right. Exactly.
it's not me. Like it's not me. And so I try to take that approach with adults as well because all of us, one, have an inner child inside of us who
Right.
may or may not have been tended to. But
Mm,
also as adults, we also deserve that level of grace.
yes.
And so I try to just fill people out. I'm like, if you're not feeling it, I'm gonna just, hey, I'm here when you need me. Until then, I'm gonna check in on you if that's cool. I try to get people's consent, even when it comes to physical touch. Like, I'm a hugger. Would you like a hug? Like,
Mm,
it's up to you. Always try to give people choice. But I feel like a lot of, well, for me and the people that I'm around, oftentimes since we are artists and like go getters and doing things for people in the community, we often forget that we are a part of the community, not
mm,
organizers.
right.
And like being a part of the community also means laying our burdens down with the people who care about us.
Yes.
And so I think it's just hard sometimes navigating that because it's like I want to be strong for the community, but also because I have all these things to do. But also, y'all, I'm tired. Who can
Mm-hmm.
pick this up for me?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really answer your question because I can't think of an exact
Oh no,
example.
look, I love where this is
But
going, so.
yeah, and I feel like I'm gonna have to shout out my Saturday Scribe Tribe. Okay, so every Saturday I'm a part of a group called Saturday Scribe, and every Saturday we meet up at a local coffee shop and we do writing. It's 2 hours,
Ooh.
non-critical. We have a prompt. You can write towards the prompt. You don't have to, but it's really an amazing space.
Yeah.
And they've become one of my writing community, my friends, and just people I genuinely enjoy being around.
Yeah.
And I've really learned how to open myself up
Mm,
um, because they start off as strangers
mm,
and being vulnerable, not just through my writing, because that's easy for me, but through those day to day interactions in person, in
mm.
conversation, and really stating when I need support.
Yeah.
And they show up, which I'm really, really appreciative for.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Especially because it comes full circle, because when you think about even naming the fact that you need help, that can be a challenge for some people. I know that I have an issue doing that as well. Sometimes I'm just like, man, this bag's so heavy, but I'm talking to myself about it, and I don't like, just take something out. There's other people that can do that, you know,
Hmm.
but I'm good at naming that I have a hard time doing that.
It's that practice piece.
Yes,
And,
indeed.
and I touch upon that too about like how, you know, I think as a society, we've become so distrustful
Mm,
of each other. And it may not even be in big ways, just subtle ways, you know,
right.
just those little everyday ways that we struggle to really allow people to show up.
Mm. Ooh, dang. For
So we
sure.
both gonna work on it, okay,
Yeah,
Akunna? We're gonna work on it together.
we are.
We're gonna be
Definitely.
accountability partners.
Let's do it, because I need that. For sure.
So if I call you tomorrow,
Look, as long as you still come Saturday, look.
oh, I'm still coming Saturday for sure. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. 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 We back. So, so I want to talk a little bit more about just your experience with writing. You talked about kind of being blocked, and I have experienced so much writer's block, but good things can come out of that sometimes. That's how I decided I want to start having live conversations, because it might be harder for me to write an article about you, but I can come on here and ask you these questions that
Mm.
I'm naturally curious about, and that's the same thing. So tell me about when you deal with those writer's blocks. What are some things that help you? I know you talked about journaling, and you have your scribe. Is it Scribe Tribe or the?
Saturday scribe. I call it my scribe tribe.
Okay, okay. So yeah, what are some other ways that you work through those creative blocks, and or just ways that you practice in your writing experience?
So yeah, definitely those two, journaling and that weekly consistency with Saturday Scribe. But for this one, and I do this often, I consult like my spirit guides, ancestors, guide through tarot.
Mm,
And so the other night I was like, listen, I'm coming to y'all humbly. But also I truly want guidance. Like what are
mm,
some non-negotiable topics that I need to address?
mm,
And you know, they be hitting all the time. Every time they speak to me, and one of the cards was I want to say Queen of Swords, and it was about like consistency, abundance, having those provisions,
mm,
of like providing shelter, giving
mm.
giving to people, and things
Yeah.
of that nature. But then on the flip, it was also another card, I can't think of it off the top of my brain, but it was like, hey, things are actually kind of worse than what it seems.
Mm,
So we gotta really tend to what's going on,
mm,
because it's bad out here. Um,
mm.
and so I
Yeah.
was like, all right. And I was like, yeah, it is. That's why I've been chained by fear, because
Mm,
it is
yeah.
bad out here. So I do that a lot. Meditation. I talk to my wife a lot. She's a great source for my inspiration, my family, my friends. Like I just try to talk more and read more, um,
Mm,
to get through that writer's block.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, because I know that other writers will watch this and they will receive that and know that they are not alone in that blockage, that it happens to all of us. And sometimes we need a little bit of resistance in order to put that pressure.
That pressure,
Right. Pressure makes diamonds, right?
absolutely.
Not blood diamonds, though. Okay. All right. Well, again, super excited to have you out on Saturday. Before we close out, is there anything else you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, if y'all, are interested in more of my writing, feel free to follow my Substack. It's with Love Sage, and I write short stories, social commentary, poetry, personal essays, kind of just a range of things that always, uplift at the end of the day, and it's with love. And I'm
Yeah.
working on. I am not gonna show y'all the whip, but I am working on a little painting for the
Mm.
raffle. So
Ooh, we're excited about that. No
yeah,
work in progress today, y'all, but
no work in progress
you'll see the
today.
finished piece on Saturday.
Absolutely. But yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. Thanks for
Yeah, it's
having me.
been
I
an
really
absolute
appreciate it.
pleasure. Yeah, we right here with it. Well, thank you again for joining me. I really look forward to seeing you perform and giving you a big hug with consent.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you on
Thank
Saturday.
you. You too. See y'all Saturday.
Thank you. Peace. All right, you all. That was a conversation with poet with Love Sage, who will be at the Park Pop Out, opening up the stage with a beautiful poetry performance. So again, this Saturday, August 30th, Cheyenne Park here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Lots of fun activities for the children, family friendly. Bring your cousin, sister, auntie, cousin. I already said cousin, uncle, niece, nephew, pastor, everyone. Bring everyone. Okay? Okay. We'll be back in about 30 or so minutes, and we will be speaking with Nay, who is a crochet artist who will also be popping up with us. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. Well, hopefully, I'll see you in a second, right? Because you're tuning into the next combo. So, yeah. Peace.